Hey y'all, it's Mouse Toes, and I am wearing one of my favorite aprons. I have the hats, the visors, and we can do it. And for all of us Americans, we can do it. This is Rosie the Riveter. It's incredible. If you don't know about it, you're not a baby boomer. You're not a child of the greatest generation. And these are very frightening times. They're absolutely scary. It's very hard to even consider making a video, but I'm gonna make a video today based on using my food storage, and in this case, I'm gonna be using cube steak and showing you how I'm gonna preserve and use less of my breadcrumbs. I'm not gonna use my fresh eggs, I'm gonna use the ones I've frozen over the past, say, 18 months. What I do is I use an ice cube tray, and they're generally small eggs, commercial eggs, and I put the egg white in one side of the ice cube tray, and then I put the yolk in the other. Then they freeze, I pop them out, and I put them in two separate, in my case, food saver bags. So things are very scary right now. I live on an island that I've told you in the past, the average age here is 72. And I am 63. My husband and I are a week apart in age. And I am very concerned, and I am taking government advisory, and I am staying in my home. That does not mean that I can use everything in my food storage freely and willy-nilly, even though I'm a canner. Our local grocery store is very small. I consider it a vacation store. 45 minutes away from us are bigger stores like a Food Lion, a Piggly Wiggly. I get Piggly Wiggly shirts from all over the country when we used to travel. And they're only getting half of their warehouse order, as are other stores like Kroger and Publix. So there is not a food shortage, right? We have a supply problem right now. I did not have to go to the store because I will not be part of being panic buying. And also, couponers' lives have ended, okay? So I was a couponer. It's how I have bar soap, hand soap, less affordable shampoos that are always, or were always on sale, and I had a buy one, get one coupon from CVS. So those things are all fine. But now they're putting a limit on what people can buy, thankfully, so that there's food available for everyone in the store. And our area and many others are having the elderly go in that first hour who move slower, right? They may be on a walker, and many of us are going to that store with our mask and gloves on to help those who cannot maneuver through that store. So there are all kind of blessings happening there, but I am telling you, we can do it. I'm taking it very serious, and I am staying at home. Now, granted, I have a tidal creek behind me. I've got all my vegetables planted. I got to count on rain, not too much wind. I have to rely on my frozen and my canned goods, but I'm not going willy-nilly through this. And I am a very religious person, as is my husband. And for those of you who are not, please take that little red line at the bottom of this video when I post it and drag it. But I take a lot of comfort in Isaiah 26:20. Go, my people, enter your inner rooms and shut your doors behind you. Hide yourself for a brief moment until the wrath has passed by. For look, Jehovah is coming from his place. So I take comfort in that. I hope those of you who are religious do. I have a large print Bible. It is what I live by, and I am going to follow the government regulations. And what they're doing is absolutely in our Bible. So if we can take a moment and breathe, some deep breaths. They sound foolish, but deep breath in, expanding your lungs, because most of us have never experienced this kind of stress before. This has kind of tickled me. You know, I'm going to take a little grin where I can get it. But I filed my fingernails down on Wednesday evening. And today is Saturday, and I have to do it again. So all our bodies manifest stress in a different way. Mine chooses to grow fingernails. What the heck is up with that? So let's get into the video and talk about using some of my frozen meats and conserving the breadcrumbs, the flour, and the eggs that I use to make it. Because this ain't the time to go willy-nilly and everybody eating at the same time. If I had more than 2 people in my home, there would be very strict rules on opening my refrigerator. We would have an established lunch that you could eat and a dinner. And my husband and I are doing that now, and it's just the 2 of us. So let me show you what I'm doing. I have talked about my food saver bags in many, many other videos. This is cube steak that I would buy on sale. This is from April of 2014. So I'm going to be cooking from the oldest things in my freezer. If this bag does not get a puncture, this will not ever freeze or burn. So I would encourage all of you, when things are back to normal, and please have no doubt things will get back to a normal. Hopefully we don't go back to what we were, of people's kids swinging into a Starbucks every morning before they go to high school, the mom doing the same thing, eating out for lunch, eating out at O'Charlie's. Hopefully people have learned some basic cooking skills. And if they don't, you got the YouTubian University where we can show you how to do it. But my encouragement for anyone would be, when you have, they're usually about $99 to $119, is to get a food saver system so that you can have meats, which is protein, in your freezer. So let me take you over and show you what I'm doing. Oh, and know something. I am praying hard for this country. I'm praying hard for our health workers, our law enforcement, our first responders, our National Guard, and for this administration who's making tough decisions. So regardless of what your opinions are about this administration, please offer your prayers for them, because this is what we have, and this is what we have to work with. And they are doing all they can. And they're tired. You can see they're exhausted, and they're hanging in there. They give us a press conference at least once a day, keep us up to date. I'm not going with conspiracy theories. I'm sheltering down in my home to stay safe. I normally would use 3 fresh eggs, a little bit of water, and a bunch of fresh Parmesan cheese. What I've done is gotten 2 of my eggs out of those Ziploc bags, 1 white, well, 2 whites, 2 yolks, okay, and let them defrost, whipped them up, and in this case I added milk, okay? And what I did was I used some Parmesan cheese. A friend gave me those containers that you keep in your refrigerator, so I just opened one from my pantry. I don't want to use my fresh Parmesan. I keep a small flour container going in my kitchen. What I normally would do, because I probably have 9 pieces of cube steak, is I'm putting a small amount of flour at a time. I don't want much waste. These are my own home dehydrated breadcrumbs that you can do without a dehydrator. If your kids don't like the ends, your bread's getting stale, put it out, let it get stale, dry it further in your oven. So I'm going to conserve the items that I have. And like I showed you, I'm using the oldest cube steak that I have. I also, what I love about a food saver is when I get a large package on sale is I bring it home, I beat it, tenderize it, because it can have tough pieces in it. It's cube steak, right? And cut it into manageable pieces. And then I freeze it. So this will be my husband and I's dinner tonight. It will also be our lunch for tomorrow. Nobody's going in and opening a can of tuna fish, doing any of those things. So even though I'm a canner and a food preservation, food storage enthusiast, I ain't going crazy because we don't know how long this will go on. I have seasoned my meat with black pepper, Lowry seasoning salt, garlic, and onion powder. I'm not going to make you watch me take a piece, go into my flour, into my egg, then my breadcrumbs, and then put it in, I've got some peanut oil here, and do a pan fry. I will not be using paper towels at this time to drain. What is wrong? There we go. I have clean bags, that's my own oil on there, don't freak out, that I have taped right on a cookie sheet, and this is where I'll put that meat. I've had these bags for over a year. I have no concern what is on the outside of these. So I'm gonna get to frying up some, or just pan frying, some inexpensive cube steak from 2014. And another reason I'm doing this is this was my favorite meal growing up that my mother made. My brother and I thought, woo, heaven has arrived, because we had some good meat instead of just eating vegetables out of our garden all summer. So this was a big deal to us. So I'm looking for something comforting. We'll have 2 vegetables with this because we don't have any fresh lettuce, but my lettuce is growing in my garden, so I should have lettuce in about 5 days. I'm willing to snip down, and then it'll continue growing. So well-balanced meal. We've got 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 8 pieces, and that is enough for us for dinner and tomorrow night. And while my cube steak sits there, something important to talk about are your dish towels in your kitchen. This dish towel each day goes into the washer for the next time I do a washer load. That is the dish towel we use after we wash our hands with soap. Doesn't matter what kind you use, just use some. I have another dish towel here. This is what I'm using while I'm cooking, whether it be beef or chicken. When I'm finished cooking, because I'm rinsing my hands more than washing, this also goes into the laundry room for the next wash load. I do not do fancy dish towels. These are more thin dish towels. I use those under my canning jars. These are everyday dish towels. Are they all coordinated? No. Are they good and thick? Yes. This ain't the time to be a fancy Nancy, okay? Because if your family is home and you're all washing your hands, including in your bathrooms, you should be very cognizant of those towels not sitting there wet and growing germs through the day. So please don't be a fancy Nancy. If you only have fancy dish towels, when this ends, and it will end, they're very affordable at stores. Get affordable ones. Some of these are from like the Dollar Tree in a pack of 3, these little plain brown ones. So don't stop being a fancy Nancy when things end, because what you're drying your hands on needs to be germ-free. Do the best you can with what you have. I no longer have a dishcloth in the kitchen so that no one touches that. It's what I wipe my counters with, and then I put a little bleach on it and I hang it over my washing machine. So that is, I don't want my husband to pick that up and wipe something up the floor or around my sink, because I'm gonna spray and disinfect my sink. I just splashed eggs, some breadcrumbs in mine, and when I'm finished cooking this meal, then I'll work on my sink because it looks messy. And it was very clean when I started, because that's how I roll. Don't be a fancy Nancy. Coffee pot's going in the background because it is afternoon coffee time. My oil is getting hot, and something else I wanted to talk about, and I had breadcrumbs under my coffee maker. I just kind of slung that stuff around. I need to get it together. So anywho, okay, let's get back to the point. Look for channels, cooking channels in particular, who are trying to help you use home canned goods that you have or dehydrated, like the Purposeful Pantry, Lisa at Sutton's Days, the Needy Homesteader for bread and does a lot of recipes with home canned goods. And also Noreen's Kitchen did a very good video on a 1960s meal that children love, which was chicken and mashed potatoes and of course a vegetable, but it was from the cans of chicken breast. And if you read your chicken breast cans, like at Great Value, there are ones that are just solid chicken, okay? They're gonna have sodium in them for preservation, but at least they were commercially canned. So look around for ways that you too, be quiet, coffee pot. Who knew it was so loud? Anywho, look around for those, but don't go willy-nilly through your pantry like it's party time, okay? We're hoping for 14 days. It could be longer. Try and make some good decisions for your family and shut down that pantry to free feed. And if you got teenagers, right, you may have to put a chain around it. Or you get to whooping some hiney, okay? But I promise you nobody would open my mother's refrigerator and just take something out without asking. Another thing, I'm using the bread that I've gotten commercially that I've frozen, whether it's rolls or white bread, One of my favorites is Sara Lee white bread when I have a bacon, lettuce, and tomato. So I'm gonna use those first, and then after those are out of my freezer, I'll go back to making my own white bread, which we prefer, but for right now, I wanna use that because bread doesn't last forever in the freezer. I also have powdered milk that I can turn into milk, but I have a couple gallons frozen, and of course I have a gallon in the refrigerator. So just try to work with what you have, and don't be intimidated by it. And if you have not been cooking in the past, and you're trying to learn now, there's lots of us out here with channels who can help you. You can send us emails, there is no dumb question, and we're all happy to help. Just because we're prepared and food storage enthusiasts does not mean we don't understand how difficult this is. And my sincere prayer is after this, America goes back a different way. And maybe moms and their kids start kneading bread and making rolls, and maybe dehydrating, maybe starting a tiny garden or even container gardening and growing one tomato. So I hope a lot of things change like that. But I'm gonna get these going. You don't need to watch. You just don't wanna get your heat real high. I'm between low and medium because I don't wanna burn the outside of this. And your own, or mine, I gotta turn the fan on too. So you got a coffee pot, a fan. Sheesh, you know, times are hard. Took everything in me to make a video, but I loves y'all. And I thought, you know, let's just have a little talk, not do anything too heavy, and check it out. So what I don't wanna do, because I need this to cook through, and you can use your kitchen scissors or a knife, right, when you turn it over and you think it's ready, that it's done, but I don't wanna burn my breadcrumbs. I don't wanna burn that coating. So it's not hard to check, and I find that my own dehydrated breadcrumbs tend to get browner than commercial ones that, you know, you get in the little cardboard tube. Okay, so I don't know why, but it does. But it doesn't mean that your food is burned. So I've never had them burn, but I find they get darker. And I'm not gonna overcrowd my pan and lessen the heat of my oil. So what's for dinner for us is cube steak that has been pounded out and put in a Food Saver bag from April of 2014. Power to the Food Saver and the people who made it. Let's give them a little shout out like, hey, ho, thank you. Thank you very much. And for those of you who are new cooks and are afraid you'll mess it up, worst thing that can happen is this would be kind of tough because you didn't pound it out with a meat mallet, right? Or you didn't cut out enough of the tough pieces. I will have you know that I have always been a cook since I was probably 10 years old because my mom had us cook and learn skills in gardening. But I think it was the second week I was married, and I've been doing time now, 39 years, as many of you know. And I made a chicken in a wine sauce, okay, like it was gonna be fancy, and I was 23 years old. And I made the mistake of not calling my mother, and I thought, oh, I got this. Made my mashed potatoes. Instead of grabbing red wine, I picked up Hardy Burgundy. And my chicken was purple, my gravy was purple, my freaking corn was purple, okay, because we put it on top of our mashed potatoes. And so we had purple chicken. It wasn't very tender, and my husband said it was great. And when I put a purple plate in front of him, he was not even shocked, because my husband could not cook unless it was chicken in a banquet box. The boy has come a long way. Now he's fabulous cook. He makes a damn mess. We're going to turn one over, and I'll show you what I mean by browner than commercial breadcrumbs. And this is interesting. I hope you can see this. Right here, you know, the little eggs I had frozen, kind of puffed up on the side. That's a little interesting. Unique situation. So I'm just going to keep it moving around so it doesn't stick. So as you can see, they shrink up, but they get fatter. So I've added another piece now, and I'll keep rotating through the 8 or 9 pieces I have. I forgot what I counted, but that is the least thing on my mind. So far, so good. For new cooks, do not take a spatula and smash all this down. Don't let that moisture leave the meat or break that protective coating where you had the egg, the flour, the eggs, and the breadcrumb. You want this to have a crunchy exterior, and that way the grease does not enter the little cube steaks that you're pan frying. It ain't hard, I promise you. And when I go to use my kitchen scissor to see if they're done, I'm not cutting that in this pan. That would let that oil rush into breaking of that protective coating. I'll take it out, put it on my bag over here to drain, let it sit for about 4 minutes, then I'll check to make sure it's done. But I can pretty much tell when things are done. But to this day, after cooking all these years, I still cut into beef, chicken, or use a thermometer to make sure that food is safe. And nothing is more important right now than cooking safely, because ain't nobody need to go to the hospital with food poisoning. So just exercise extreme caution right now because of the situation we're in. Only thing, if the worst thing that happens is you overcook it, you good, you're all right, you're all right. So I'm continuing on, and Mom's Hilaire, Peachy's family, Tommy, my Jerry Pruitt, know that I love y'all. I'm thinking of your families, and I'm praying hard for all of y'all. So we're in this together, and I'm just proceeding to lightly pan fry up my cube steak. And for new cooks, don't get alarmed when your oil starts getting darker. You start getting some pieces of your breadcrumbs in it. Nothing's wrong with your oil. Nothing bad is happening. And Tasha, if I neglected to say you and your family, you know I got you locked in my prayers, because you is my girl. And Bella Grace, you know I got you. You know I do, Bella Grace. And anyone who could use a little email encouragement, my email is on my About page. You're welcome to email me. I'll be happy to pray with you through email, offer any encouragement, answer any questions you have, but just a little warning to the trolls. All my comments on my videos are set to approval first, since I get tired of reading the hate, right? And let's see, over the years I've been accused by many of being I would say that's vegetiality, right? Of things I did to an eggplant. What the heck? Okay. And general, and plus because I'm a religious person. So just know you send it to me. Once I realize it's a troll, mean, hateful comment, I don't even read the rest of it. I keep it moving, because your stinking attitude does not affect my blessed and good attitude. So feel free to email me. Anybody who could use some prayer, some encouragement, I'll be happy to chat with you, because we're all stuck inside. And this is one great thing about social media and for people on Facebook who can message each other. I am an older person. I thankfully still have my spouse, but many of my friends don't, and we're emailing and text messaging each other, and occasionally we tell some jokes. So try to be there for somebody. Do what you can. Be kind. This is a time to be kind. But when somebody's trying to come get what you have, it's a time to throw down. So don't get it twisted. I'm a religious lady, but the Bible says I have a right to defend myself too. And I will hold down what I have for me and my husband, who've made countless sacrifices for it, and I will help my neighbors, always, till somebody gets stupid with it. Then I will get jiggy with it. So I'm on my last one, and again, with my little frozen eggs, it's doing that little puffy thing, but everything looks good. So I am gonna head off and have my afternoon coffee, and again, know that we can do it, I can do it, you can do it, just like her shirt says. I ain't nothing but a little mouse, elderly lady, hanging up, managing some food storage, and doing my best not to get in the way or put anybody in danger. So, to all my subscribers, and to all of Rosie's chatters, who you know I adore, I'm praying for all of us. Everybody, please take care, be kind, check on an older neighbor, just do what you can. If nothing else, you can offer encouragement to people. And pray that this can end, because this is worldwide, not just us. This is the entire world. Take care, everybody, please. Wash them hands. Scrub a dub, 20 seconds. And the reason I'm not showing you on a plate of food is because it is 3:30 in the afternoon, and this is for dinner. If this were regular times, I would probably have me a half a little piece as a snack, but I ain't fixing to do that because I am managing my food storage. I just cook the protein or meat for the evening meals and the other ones for lunch tomorrow. We're very active here, kayaking, crabbing, fishing, gardening. So we do need the calories. Just because you're old don't mean you don't gotta eat.